Welcome to the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast, the podcast where we make 5-minute decisions that can change your business, your relationships, and your life. Hey, this is Dean Soto, founder of ProSulum.com and FreedomIn5Minutes.com. And we are here for another Freedom in 5 Minutes episode. Today's topic is this: data always trumps your feelings. That and more coming up. All right, so if you can't tell, I'm a little pensive right now because I am once again in an area where I don't fully have the ability to stay away from cars and stuff. So if you hear cars, if you hear trucks, I'm literally next to an auto body shop or auto shop, and there's diesel engines and stuff like that going on. So I apologize. All right, so today was kind of a follow-on day to yesterday. If you remember from yesterday's podcast, I was talking about how I had to make this change on my website for ProSulum, basically transforming it from focusing on consulting, which is, it still has that as part of the business, but I had to change it to something else, which was the virtual assistant agency, because that's what most people know me by now, which is cool. I love it. So I changed it for the simple fact that it was much more clear in what I was doing, and it was a lot less convoluted because the old site just was not working. It was not working the way that I wanted it to work, or it didn't convey the message that I wanted it to convey. So today was part 2. Now, what is part 2? Well, the site was up. I actually sent it to one of my marketing guys that does my marketing to get some feedback. And in the meantime, I wanted to run ads to it and see if I would get any traction. Because I went to my competition, saw what they were doing, saw if they put the pricing on the page, saw what they were offering. It's kind of like a free opt-in. And pretty much every single competitor that I had that was relatively close had a thing to schedule a consulting session. I had one other competitor that said, hey, you can try our virtual assistant for free. And I didn't want to do that just because that would be kind of hard to manage, and I want to be able to scale. And so that it just was not, they had a consulting thing and a try VAs for free. But all that being said, so what I ended up doing today is wanted to see if people would actually do something. So before my marketing guy could even get his hands on anything, I went and started setting up some ads on Bing. And most people don't advertise on Bing. The search engine itself doesn't get nearly as much traffic as Google. But the thing is, you can get some pretty cheap clicks with Bing. And the cool thing as well is that a lot of them convert. It seems to convert better than it does on Google. And the really cool thing, and the thing I love about it, is that they're much, much, much more lenient than Google is. In fact, I've never had it to where they've ever denied any of my campaigns. They might deny some of my keywords because the keywords are trademark or whatever, because I have a special way of going about grabbing keywords. Well, maybe I'll talk about it at some point in time. But as far as today, they'll deny some of my keywords that I use because they might be trademarked, or they might have something that they just don't like. But I've never had them actually deny a campaign or say, hey, this is wrong. And I've had some wacky ones where Google would just completely slap me down. So, for example, I would just have a thing that said, enter in your name and email, and have nothing else. It was just a squeeze page, and they were totally fine with it. So it's kind of like the Wild West. It's kind of the way Google AdWords was back in the day. But also you get all the conversion tracking, you get everything. So there I am, I'm sitting there setting it up, and a big part of what goes on during this with anybody is this feeling of, oh crap, what do I say? Kind of goes along with last podcast, right? Where it's so much easier when you're doing stuff for other people. So I'm sitting there doing my advertising, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, this is gonna look. Nobody's gonna. What am I gonna write as the headline? What am I gonna write as the description? What am I gonna write as this and that and that? And I started doubting myself, and then I started thinking, should I even do this? Is it worth it? Eventually, I had to make the decision. And here's the cool thing about this particular decision. Best practices with this decision is that you have no clue what ad is going to do well or what landing page is going to do well until you actually test it, until you actually do it. You can be the world's greatest marketer, the world's greatest advertiser, and you can have had 5 million different campaigns that have all been successful, but you still will not know for sure whether or not an advertising campaign is going to work. An ad group is going to work. A particular advertisement is going to work. What keywords are going to work to deliver results. That means that you have to make a decision, right? You just have to put it out there. You have to create whatever it is you're going to create. So my tactic is that I will set up the first ad with the headline that I want, or headlines that I want, and descriptions that I want, and all that other stuff. And then what I'll do after that is I'll duplicate that ad, and I'll only change the title. I'll only change the headlines of the ads because I want to test those out first. And after I split test a couple of those, what I'll do is I'll have 3 ads running at a time. Usually, I don't usually do more than that. But I'll have 3 ads running at a time, and then I'll also split test different ad groups based off of the keywords that I'm using and whether or not it's desktop or mobile. Now, Bing Ads doesn't have all of the demographic stuff that you can use with Facebook and Google and so on and so forth. So that it's kind of limited in that, but I tried to split test as much as I want. And so I just went for it. I started writing out what I thought would be good, and to me, even with that, I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks really crappy. I suck at headlines. I suck at copywriting. What am I doing? Even though I'm pretty good, I'm still like, oh man, this is going to suck or whatever. And so after a few minutes, I had an active campaign, an active advertising campaign for my new version of Prosulum, the Prosulum website. You're going to hear a big truck go by. Sorry. And so with that, now I can see, I don't know the results yet because literally I just did this about an hour ago. I don't know what the results are going to be yet on the ads. All I know is that I'm going to have data. And once you have data, you can start making more decisions, right? We've talked about this in past podcasts where when you make a decision, it opens up an opportunity for more opportunities. It opens up more doors that you would have never had before and never would have thought of. So when someone clicks through off of a keyword that I literally would never have guessed and actually opted in and becomes a good customer, I would not have known that had I not actually tested it, had I not, if it's a keyword that I just literally would not have expected to deliver results, because if I failed to actually test it and failed to actually do it and see if that keyword worked, I could be missing out on thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every month. And so here's the deal. Why is this important? This is important because a lot of the times data trumps our feelings. Maybe it's a relationship that you're in. Maybe it's a relationship where you can see that the other person is not happy. The other person is getting on your nerves, or you're getting on their nerves, or they're doing things that are self-destructive or something like that. That's data. That's data telling you that there's something wrong. There might be something wrong with them. It might be something wrong with you. If it has to do with the relationship in general, that's data that there's something wrong with the relationship. Trust me, I've had that happen. I recently had that happen with my wife and I, where I was doing some stupid crap. And she was making it known, not directly, but indirectly. And I was making it known, not directly, but indirectly. And it had to get fixed. But that was the data. What is the data telling you? What is the data telling you? Often you won't see the data until you actually do something. You won't see the data until you actually do something. And so I want to make the action item in this podcast for you just to do one thing. I want you to do one thing, and that is look at the data, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your spirituality, whether it's in your body right now, it's in your health. If you are overweight, that's data that you're not doing the right thing. If you're underweight, or if you have low energy, there's data. That's data. That's data telling you something. If you're low energy, maybe it means go and try and get these vitamins. I have vitamins, and it changed my life. I went from being tired all the time to being not tired. There's these Garden of Life whole food vitamins that I use. It's been amazing. They are fantastic. I also get their like green juice smoothie type stuff, and those help out a lot as well. So for me, it was data. I was tired, and I had to go and figure out what the heck I was tired. Try some vitamins. Oh, I actually feel better. So now I know every day I need to take these vitamins, right? What else in my body? Am I overweight? I was overweight for a while. I still am. But some of the overweight is muscle now because I've been going to the gym a lot. I don't know too many overweight people who can do 10 pull-ups and bench a bunch of weights and stuff like that. But I do need to do a lot more cardio. Anyway, all of this is to say that I want you to notice, like, look at what you have right now as far as your data, whether it's your body, whether it's your spirituality, whether it's your family, or whether it is your business. What is telling you that there's something wrong? And give something a try. Just give something a try to fix it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, guess what? Great, because you have data. If that doesn't work, we try something else, right? So I want you to do that. I want you to do that. Try and do that within the next 24 hours. All right, so this is Dean Soto, Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Go to freedomin5minutes.com. We have some exclusive podcast episodes there that you can't find anywhere else. They are raw podcast episodes, 7 of them, never before seen. You can't see them outside of there. You can get them there. You can subscribe to the podcast there as well. And the best part is that they are raw. They don't even have the intro and all that other stuff. But it's amazing, amazing, amazing content. So go check that out. And I will see you in the next Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast.